So, guys, welcome back to the show. This is our live stream on Sports 101. We are live on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube as well as on Twitter, on Facebook. And today we're shooting live from Kingston Hotel located in Takrady at Apollo. Amazing scenery. You know, if you want a nice getaway with the family, with friends, you know, this is the place to be. Come, trust me, they have excellent services for you. Kingston Hotel located in Takrady, Apollo. As well, we are live on Tardy FM 99.1. And I have Percy with me. Kofi had to step out. You know, he'll join us. I'm sure people want to listen to his take, especially when he predicted that, you know, Inter were winning 2-1 at the end of the contest. But it's happening at the Atatürk Stadium in Turkey. History beckoning for Manchester City as they hope to annex the treble and do what Manchester United did in 1999. Before I quickly jump to Percy, I'll run by you some figures of the first half. Then Percy will probably run us through what happened in the game. So in the first half, possession-wise, City had 62%, Inter had 38%. Expected goals, City had 0.36, Inter had 0.21. Both teams, you know, had 4 shots and big chances created. City had 1 big chance created, whilst Inter couldn't create a big chance. In terms of big chances missed, City missed 1, Inter 0. In terms of accurate passes, City are operating at 91%, whilst Inter are operating at 84%. Fouls committed 4-8. That's in favor of City. Then when it comes to shots on target, City have 2 shots on target, Inter have 1. But it's been a game of tactical brains, tactical minds. I think for the first half, Simeone Inzaghi has won the battle. How he has set the Inter side is simply amazing. This is what they've been doing in the last 2-3 seasons, being able to stifle their teams, not giving teams enough spaces to operate in. And if you've watched City, what they do so well is they play and operate with space. But because there's very little spaces to operate in, 1, they are giving a lot of wayward passes. 2, they are not able to string passes and create the needed chances that needs to be created. Maybe Percy can run us through what's happening in the game. But Percy, Inter and Simeone Inzaghi have literally shut down some of the talk that this was going to be a mauling. At least for the first half, it didn't happen. Run us through what happened in the game.
Okay, I was actually following you guys when I was coming, and you know my stance already. You know, for me, when it comes to Champions League and also the finals, I don't really go with stats. I don't really go with who has the form. I always go by history. I go by superstition. You can call me that, but superstition. I was able to talk about the fact that Inter has stopped 3 different teams from actually
Real Madrid,
Real Madrid,
64,
Benfica
is 65, and Bayern Munich in 2010.
Yes, and all of these in 2010 they actually had the chance to go for the treble. Yeah. And the last time West Ham actually won a European competition, that was in 64-65. That was when Inter also won their Champions League. We also talked about the fact that for the past 6, 7, 8 years, if you have to win the Champions League, you have to have a Croat in your team. These are all things that we're talking about. But I'm surprised we had a lot of pundits talking about this to be a morning, because we're having this discussion that save the 2010-2011 final that was between United and Barca.
Even 2009, because Barca dominated
the
game.
So I'm talking about the last one.
Okay.
Since then, we've never had any one team dominate. Okay, you can also talk about 2012, 2011, 2012, that is Chelsea and Bayern. And even with that one, Chelsea soaked pressure and they were able to do something. Yeah. 13 wasn't like that. 14 was not like. So this season, probably those who are talking about this had not watched the matches or Inter's games. You see, Inter is doing what Real Madrid failed to do. Real Madrid thought they could play with their 2-man midfield or their 4-man midfield. Against City is actually playing 6 midfielders, 2 defensive and 4 attacking. But when they were playing with Madrid, Madrid thought they could rely on their aged Cruz and Modric and maybe a Valverde, and it didn't work out because they were outgunned. They were young fellows who had the energy, they had the resilience. But with Inter, this is where I am really seeing the Catenaccio in a very, probably it is in a modernized way, but in a very long time.
Fine.
They are not really defending like the the contemporary or the ancient way of Parma, Juventus, AC, the Barresis, but they are bringing in a sort of a modernized way of making the Catanazzo very relevant. They are not so much of packing the bus. They are soaking pressure and they are making good use of it. In fact, I'm sure that Simeone brought this in that the first half, let's soak pressure. Then second half, it means that, okay, we can really do something. And Inter in their heads, they are the bigger team here. They are the team that has won Champions League 3 times. City might have their form, they might have whatever, but everything is behind them. They've won it 3 times. And even Chelsea that had won it once, meeting City, they were the bigger team. So I'm sure that all of these things have been psyched. It has been in their mind. And their legends are there. I can see Cambiaso, I can see Javier Zanetti, I can see Wesley Sneijder. Yeah. So there is so much backing for them. And this is enough reason for them to play. And playing and seeing these legends and what they did. So I think that the players are more of not really considering the fact that, okay, we are stopping a treble. They really want to do something for themselves because this is actually an Inter team. Or this is Inter Milan that has won it 3 times. And this is an enough reason for them to go through this. So for me, the start, whatever we were expecting from City, they've done it. They are possessing, and Inter didn't come into this game to possess. Yeah. And I'm expecting that going into the second half, this is when they will really open up. Because the first half soaked the pressure. Try to see how, and we will talk about Haaland. This thing that Kofi was talking about, the fact that he gets missing in big games. It's like he's trying to prove us right. Because from the semi-final, first leg, second leg, although you can say that he holds that play, but we don't know him to hold that play. So for me, if Haaland wants to be a front runner for the Ballon d'Or, it is this match. Even if City wins and he is not emphatic with his play, he should consider the Ballon d'Or a bye-bye.
We'll talk about Erling Haaland and, he being missing in big games. But for a striker of his ilk and a striker, of his mode, he doesn't need to be so much involved in the game. What matters is he gets the opportunity and buries it. The only opportunity that he's gotten that is so clear, he had Onana standing his way. But the numbers so far favor City a little bit. But what I think Inter have done so well is to ensure that they do not give City enough spaces to operate in. I do not know what is going to happen in the second half. Percy talks about Inter opening up. That might be a recipe for disaster for Inter Milan because I do not think that you do not fix it when it's not broken. As we speak, it's not broken for Inter Milan, so there's nothing that they need to fix. But before we sign out or give way for the second half, I think the manager is here at Kingston Hotel. Maybe she has some few words to share with us. She could join us on the show. Yes, don't worry, you can join us. This is Sports 101. Like I said, we are live on YouTube as well as you can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere else. But make sure what's important is subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Click on the subscription button. Get notified whenever we go live. All the videos we've posted and uploaded. Tremendous content for you. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Are you a soccer person?
I love soccer.
Really? Yes. Your favorite team? Don't mention Manchester United.
That is it.
Semo. United?
Yes, please.
Do they still have fans? United, Chelsea, I thought they don't really have fans.
See, you can never say never.
Really?
Yes.
You've been watching the game. Are you rooting for City? Because your treble record is at stake.
Today I'm here for Man City.
Okay. Yes. So we are praying that City wins.
Absolutely.
We're shooting at Kingston Hotel.
Yeah.
Amazing scenery. Tell us something about this place. Yeah.
Honestly speaking, we are very, very, very grateful for you people coming around. Because we know being with what Sports 101 means we are going far. Yeah. Now with Kingston Hotel, we are basically hospitality facility. We have hospitality facilities. And then we have, when you come here, we have both the conferences and then the accommodation too. So, honestly, when you come around, you will have...
You get everything.
Yes.
Guys, I used to live at Apollo and I used to come and swim here a lot, so I know what I'm talking about. Their pool, excellent. Food services, accommodation, spot on. So, location. Maybe you can give us the specific address. You know, Ghanaians, we are not so good with addresses, but there are people watching us from outside. Maybe when they have holidays, they could come. So the specific address.
Okay, so when you're coming, you
Yeah.
can call on 055-15-333-22
Yeah.
for your reservation.
Okay.
And then we are at Apollo,
Yeah.
the DePaul Street.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, United's treble record will be shattered by City. I'm predicting Manchester City will lift the trophy. I mean, everybody knows.
We
Everybody
live to
knows
see.
I'm a Pep Guardiola fan. So that's the manager of Kingston Hotel. We are also transmitting live on Tadi FM 99.1. And before we zoom into the second half, let me run by you the squad again for Manchester City. There's Edison in goal. There's Akanji, literally deputizing as a right back. There's Ruben Diaz, and there's Nathan Ake, who is playing the usual left back role. There's John Stones and Rodri pairing up in midfield. But what John Stones is literally doing is that he's playing an inverted, midfield role where he tucks in whenever City loses the ball into the defensive shape. So City, when they are out of possession, it becomes a 4-man defense. So it's a 4-1-4-1 formation when City lose the ball. So John Stones will tuck into defense and will add up to the 3 defensive shape, and they'll become 4 men in defense. Then Rodri will hold his anchor in midfield. Then the 4 men behind Erling Haaland. There's Phil Foden, who is just coming for Kevin De Bruyne. There's Jack Grealish and Ike Gundogan. So these are the 4 men behind Erling Haaland. It's been a very cagey final, as expected. I think I was telling Kofi that, listen, we are not going to, Kofi, we went live on Facebook. I was telling Kofi that, listen, we are not going to see that explosive. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very close. But City would win it. I tip City. And I spoke to Kofi about you are the superstition man, the element aligning. The last time City played in Turkey was in 1968, their first ever Champions or European Cup game. They lost to Fenerbahce. Then, since then, it took them 48 years to return to the Champions League, and it's taken them 55 years to come back to Turkey in Atatürk for the final. It's more or less like we are coming back to where it all started to lift the trophy. I spoke about the addition of Julian Alvarez, and everything that has aligned for Manchester City to lift the trophy with the World Cup and all of that.
There is only one thing that goes in for them.
In any case, quickly, your prediction for the second half. Scoreline. You have just a minute.
My prediction for the second half. I told you there's only one
for
thing.
For you, everybody knows City.
No. The only thing that goes in for them is that the last time we had the Champions League in Turkey, it was an English team and an Italian team. The English team actually won.
Yeah, really.
I said that's the only thing that goes in for them. And you know me from the beginning that I didn't care who goes to the final. It is Inter. Inter wins.
Inter wins. Prediction.
Inter wins.
Scoreline.
Inter wins.
Okay, so I predicted the first half that under 0.5. So I've won, right?
Under 0.5.
Yeah, I've won.
You won. Yeah, you won.
Yeah, who are the Panthers? I said under 0.5.
I actually predicted that the first, what do you call it? Is it the goal kick?
Yeah.
I went for the first goal kick.
But the second half, I'm also predicting over 0.5 in the second half in favor of Manchester City. Guys, we'll come back for a proper or a post-mortem of the game.
Yeah, the coronation of Lautaro Martinez.
Game, analysis of this year's Champions League final. So, Sports 101, make sure you subscribe.